Now, see, I need you to be my man on the street, knocking on doors, interviewing witnesses.
Cracking skulls, kneecapping pimps.
What? No. This is all non-violent work here. Look, I know you're the Punisher, but for your new day job, why don't you just be Frank Castle?
Frank Castle died a long time ago, back in Nam.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Daredevil episodes 1 through 3 video with Easter eggs, so just careful for spoilers if you haven't started watching yet. If you didn't see my Jessica Jones videos, I'm going to be doing these just like those, so there'll be like one video for every couple of episodes. The first big arc is introducing the Frank Castle Punisher character, but he has the most amazing introduction. He is preceded by his bullets. He guns down the Irish. And just like season 1, there are a couple little stories that end up feeding into a bigger story till you get to like episode 6. I think I've watched up to about episode 6 as I'm making this video, but I'm only going to be talking about the stuff in the first couple episodes. So here we go, starting with the luck of the Irish. The Punisher guns down and then takes the money of one of the Irish gangs. There are 3 big gangs, but they don't figure out that it's just one person with military training going after all of them. The intro was a lot of fun. It was a little cheesy on purpose, like you're kind of meant to smirk like Matt does after he takes down that villain in the church. A lot of heavy-handed religious iconography, and what a coincidence that the Punisher is Catholic too. That first scene with Foggy and Matt is just to tell you what's been going on since season 1 ended, and the series moves in real time, so it's been about a year since they took down Wilson Fisk. Foggy's joke about waking up with mystery bruises is a nice allegory for what Matt does every night. The way the writers describe Matt is that he's like an alcoholic that goes out every night, just gets wasted, just destroys his body, then gets up in the morning, feels terrible, but when night comes again, he's ready to go back out and do it again. Their intersection with the Punisher really comes through Grotto, and I like the way as Matt is investigating, we don't actually see the Punisher for the first time, till he realizes that it's one man. So things really start out as Daredevil versus Punisher, and they have a couple really awesome fights. Bang, what a way to end that first episode, where he shoots him in the head. The way they show you Matt's perspective, like when the sound cuts out or when they zoom in and focus on certain things, is a really interesting storytelling device. I think they make good use of it. Sometimes you'll just hear the heartbeat sound rise up, like when he's trying to tell whether or not Grotto is lying to them. So you have this dichotomy between Daredevil and Punisher, and they start spreading that out to all the other situations. Like when Karen Page is trying to get files on the Punisher, she goes to the assistant DA, she presents him with the scenario where her boss is actually the bad guy, he's trying to do good things, they're trying to do good things. It's almost like everybody on Team Daredevil is like the Daredevil character. Every one of them, Foggy, Karen, and Matt, have situations where they run into Punisher characters, where they're confronted with situations where they play by the rules, they don't play by the rules. Like there's even a situation where Foggy's like, Karen, we have to play by the DA's rules, they could crush us. And she wants to go all Punisher and break the rules. So you have like metaphorical Punishers, you have literal Punishers, like the actual Punisher. Everyone in Hell's Kitchen is completely divided on it. Like they talk about the cops. Half of them love what he's doing, he makes their jobs easier. The other half thinks he's a criminal. So it's very similar to what's going on in season 1 between Daredevil and Wilson Fisk. Wilson Fisk also kind of like the Punisher, but we really learn more about the Punisher once we get to episodes 4 through 6. I'll talk about that when I get to those videos, but we do actually learn a little bit about the Punisher's backstory. He was a Marine. When he's talking to the old guy, there's a nice Easter egg for the comics. What were you, Marine? Yeah, I was in Vietnam. In the comics, Frank Castle was a Vietnam vet, but because this series is happening in modern day, he's an Afghanistan vet. Semper Fi, Marine. And I think when that old Vietnam vet said he was 3rd Division, that was also the division the comic book Frank Castle belonged to. So as he has Matt in chains there, and by the way, episode 3 was amazing just because they kept Matt in chains for almost the entire episode till he busts out. And when he does bust out, they have the most epic hallway fight, season 1 style. It's like they take the season 1 hallway fight, turn it into a stairwell fight, red lights, and bam, shit goes down. Yeah, Punisher gets away, but eventually we learn that the Punisher isn't the only villain. The writers really push the DA is the actual villain. Like the Punisher is gunning people down. Yeah, he's doing really bad things, but the DA is just as evil. It's just that it's a more insidious version of evil. She's kind of like a more twisted version of the Jaren Hogarth character from Jessica Jones. And there were a couple Jessica Jones name drops. When Foggy goes to see Claire to see if Matt has been laid up because he can't find him. I got the shit duty because I tried to help one of you other guys and it went kind of bad. She pissed her bosses off because she cut out on work to save Luke Cage. And they do address the fact that even though everybody knows that there are powered people around, they address that mostly during the Jessica Jones series. They call them enhanced people. Oh, you're one of those. There's still a lot of secrets. "Oh, you think that he left me," and she walks away. Always love Claire. She's basically letting you know that she still really likes Matt, but they're not going to be a thing. He's complicated, and I don't need that in my life. Jessica Jones aside, she is probably one of the best Marvel female characters that they have on screen right now, and she doesn't even have superpowers. The writers even did Foggy a solid this season 2. Season 2 Foggy is much more sure of himself, much more capable than Season 1 Foggy. He diffuses all kinds of bombs, like the one in the hospital, and the same thing goes for Karen Page. She takes this mission to learn about the Punisher on herself. She goes way above and beyond to try and help Grotto, and I think a lot of it has to do with good old-fashioned Catholic guilt. There's this idea of guilt in the series. "Father, I feel guilty. What are you looking for, Matt?" "I'm looking for forgiveness for not being able to do enough." What the series is doing is that it's drawing from all kinds of different comics. You have the Daredevil vs. Punisher comic, you have the classic Daredevil comics, then you have Punisher War Journal, Punisher Max, and a little bit of the Punisher proper series. There are a bunch of different Punisher titles, and in them, a lot of his biggest villains come from regular gangs. So like the Irish, for instance. In his titles, he has fought the Irish gangs before. I actually don't remember if it's in episode 3 or episode 4, so apologies in advance. But we meet the dog. It's named Max. It debuted during Punisher The Final Days, that story arc during the old school Punisher run. Like I said, I've seen up to about episode 6. There are a lot more Punisher Easter eggs for the comics, but I'm going to keep most of that when I do my episode 4 to 6 video. So be sure to subscribe to get that. And let me know, what is your favorite thing about the series so far? Is it the Punisher character? Is it something else? I really feel like the Punisher is the best thing in these first couple of episodes. Almost like the first half of all the episodes are dedicated to setting up the Frank Castle character before they try to do more complex things. I really like the way they're weaving the narrative this season. You have all those little tiny cases that Matt and Foggy try to help people with. They address what happened last season where they took down Wilson Fisk. They try to make him feel like nobody cares about that anymore. "Oh yeah, you did that one thing that one time. You're still nobodies." We meet the Grotto character, we get introduced to the Punisher, and then it all becomes much, much bigger once we meet the DA. She has this grand plan. She wants to be mayor. So you can kind of see the direction they're headed with that character. I'm really interested in the DA. The Punisher is fascinating, but I'm wondering if the DA is going to wind up the same way the Jaren Hogarth character did. So just careful for spoilers from Jessica Jones. I'm going to explain the Jaren Hogarth character. She finds herself in a situation where she can use the Kilgrave character to get rid of a problem that she has, but it ends up biting her or stabbing her in the ass several times. She survives though and starts to serve penance, Catholic style. I love the way Catholic guilt spreads across all these Marvel Netflix series. But what's going to happen is there's a couple videos that I have to do between now and Sunday, so my next Daredevil video will post on Monday. That'll be episodes 4 through 6. What's going to happen next is that there's a whole bunch of Batman v Superman footage that just dropped, so I'll probably do a video for that. There's some Game of Thrones that I'll be doing tomorrow, and then Walking Dead is back tomorrow night. While you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for my X-Men trailer breakdown, and you can click here for my Captain America Spider-Man video. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.